Warzone 2.0 is the highly anticipated follow-up to 2020's Battle Royale, Call of Duty Warzone, and Infinity Ward are promising a redefined experience complete with new vehicles and weapon loadout mechanics. With the original Warzone being one of the most played Battle Royales ever, 2.0 has a lot of hype to live up to. Presently, most of 2.0's announced updates have been received positively by the community. Still, there are a handful of aspects causing concern for Call of Duty players, some of which Infinity Ward will undoubtedly address in the subsequent patches. Recent surge in Warzone cheaters. There's been an upturn in cheaters and hacking in the original Warzone in the run-up to 2.0's release, to the point that players are questioning whether Call of Duty's Ricochet anti-cheat system is fit for purpose given aimbots and wall hacks continue to slip through the net. Banning offending accounts is commonplace, but the fact accumulated guns and equipment aren't carrying over to Warzone 2.0 means there's plenty of cheaters who are clearly undeterred. To be fair, Ricochet is said to be receiving an overhaul in time for 2.0, with upgrades and mitigations resulting from years of work active from day one. Fingers crossed that Ricochet's improvements do the trick. Radical changes in Gulag. Alongside 2.0's raft of updates are big changes to Warzone's purgatorial Gulag. Representing one of the biggest changes, Infinity Ward have seen fit to pit teams of 2 in head-to-head combat for a chance of revival, with scavenging loot and weapons also a requirement, plus dealing with an omnipotent AI in the form of the Jailer. To be fair, eliminating the powerful AI Jailer isn't the major sticking point here. Wiping him out releases a get-out-of-jail card. But it's 2.0's move to 2 vs 2 instead of the original's 1v1 matchup that's primary cause for concern. In a nutshell, players shouldn't be forced to rely on a random teammate to break out of the Gulag. On paper, the new format sounds decent, but in practice, with random co-players going AFK at any given moment, the act of getting back into the main action might prove more difficult than it needs to be. No loadout drops. Okay, so there's rumors Infinity Ward will revert this concern come 2.0's release. The reception to the removal of the once staple feature of the Warzone experience was met with disdain. Instead of loadout drops, it appears players are required to pre-configure then purchase their custom gunsmith weapons from the shop, Warsmith 2's version of a buy station, rather than piece it together from the loadout drop. The most scathing of criticism following this announcement was that it goes against the very grain of teamwork, and that buy stations will become littered with campers. It's a drastic change in strategy whichever way, with players having less direct access to customized weapons. As said though, it's strongly rumored the removal of loadout drops will be reverted come 2.0's release, and according to leaks elsewhere, they may even evolve into a global loadout drop. Meaning acquiring them will be a high-risk, high-reward endeavor. So we'll just have to wait and see. No perks at launch. With Warzone 2.0 at present still confirmed as removing loadout drops, that means that perks won't be reappearing as well, at least for now. Infinity Ward's wording is very specific. Perks will not be available in Call of Duty Warzone 2.0 at launch. Meaning, there's chance they'll come back later down the line. With custom weapons purchasable from the shop, and tactical and lethals being common ground loot, there's seemingly no room for perks. It's a change which strays too far from the core of Call of Duty experience for some, which is why players have taken to social media decrying their removal. The devs are listening though, with seasoned streamer Metaphor posting a cryptic message hinting perks will be part of the game in some capacity. New swimming mechanics. Look at 2.0's sprawling map and you'll see plenty of water. It's a coastal environment wrapped in mountains with gushing rivers flowing into reservoirs feeding estuaries out to sea, with busy harbors and seaside towns dotted throughout the lower half of the map. In Warzone 2.0, players are expected to fight in and around water, and that of course means plenty of swimming. Thing is that players are presumably a sitting duck when waterbound. Warzone 2.0's aquatic vehicles like the armored patrol boat look like a fantastic speedy way to cover long distances over water. Swimming, at least for now, appears a moot mechanic to be used extremely sparingly. AI strongholds. A defining feature of the new environment is the widespread presence of AI militants. At first, it was believed they'd be free-roaming and ready to interrupt the mission objective at any moment, whereas now they're confirmed as nesting solely within strongholds, guarding the best loot. Taking out an AI stronghold will grant team access to powerful weaponry, but crucially, these tasks are optional. The AI won't venture out from their base. That said, with custom loadouts purchasable from the shop, and at present loadout drops a thing of the past, the existence of AI strongholds hints at an experience more focused on loot gathering than actual multiplayer combat. Loot system menu navigation. Another new feature purportedly being dropped come Warzone 2.0's release is the revamped inventory management system. As it stands, the new menu for navigating through collected guns and equipments is a slower, more labor-intensive process when compared to Warzone. It's not as extensive as Black Ops 4, but early impressions were that there's high probability that you'll get shot while sifting through inventory menus to choose a weapon. Once again, in a serial streamer Metaphor's cryptic tweet, it appears to hint that Infinity Ward might revert to a more streamlined method of menu navigation. No side canceling. There's a host of new movement mechanics that'll be present in Warzone 2.0. Diving, ledge hanging, and swimming will be introduced, and while sliding is returning, the ability to slide cancel is not. Mastery of the slide cancel mechanic is a sound evasive maneuver which can be utilized to misdirect an opponent during 1v1 gunfights. So it came as a surprise during the Call of Duty Next event when the content creators invited to play an early build of the game couldn't slide cancel. Perhaps Infinity Ward are wanting to nudge the experience a hair closer to simulation, so they decided to remove the slide cancellation altogether. One thing's for sure, it'll require players diving into 2.0 to learn a new set of movement techniques. Changes to tactical equipment. Warzone 2.0 is tweaking the usability of their tactical equipment. Case in point is the ultra-handy heartbeat sensor, an item most would equip in their best loadouts. This popular tactical item will feature a rapidly draining battery in 2.0, meaning players who enjoy liberally flicking the sensor up and down to constantly scan their surroundings may quickly come unstuck. It's touch and go whether this tweak is necessarily bad, but with newfound emphasis on tactical items being lootable rather than equipped to loadouts, it smacks of Warzone 2.0 requiring players consistently loot if they want to gain the upper hand. Guns and equipment not carrying over to 2.0. More of a bugbear than anything at this point. It's confirmed that guns and equipment players have spent the last 2 years grinding for in Warzone won't carry over to Warzone 2.0. This point does make sense, as it levels the playing field for new players to join in, and won't require Infinity Ward to spend extra development time balancing old weaponry with the new guns coming to Warzone 2.0. Still, it'll likely be a big adjustment for a lot of players who have grown accustomed to their favorite weapon. Hey, did you know that we at Gaming Bolt upload new videos every day? Stick around, drop a like, subscribe, hit that bell, let us know what kind of content you'd like to see in the future with a comment below, and be sure to check out our new channel, GB Plays.